economies of original content on the web are obviously the limiting factor to the kind of growth of the medium. You know, Darren said, you know, for them, they're subsidizing the web video production with international deals or whatever. So, Max, at what point do you see the economics changing such that, you know, creating for the web is worthwhile in terms of your investment of time to create the content?
Well, it comes back to the concept, and if it's a really great concept, and again, utilizing the creative resources of RDF in the company, and also utilizing our vast library through our international distribution arm, RDF Rights, and getting access to those formats. It doesn't so much matter what the budget is as long as it's producible. And we are going after bigger budget projects now because we've seen success with smaller budget projects online. But I think ultimately it comes down to whether or not the idea is good and it's producible, and is there a business model behind it that can track it. And there's money to be found everywhere online, whether that's through relationships with brands and sponsors and working with them to create branded entertainment, or it's talking about the feature world where they go internationally and pre-sell an idea that works really, really well online in the US may work really well on television internationally. And so you're using money from two sources to create it.
We've seen different kinds of content succeeding on the web in different ways. You know, Lonely Girl was kind of one of the real hallmark moments for the genre of scripted. You see a lot of stuff like Howard was talking about, where it's non-fiction programming in a way, if you're talking about the office workout. And I'll just open this up to the panel. Where do you think the opportunities are for the kind of mega hit? Which genre lends itself to the widest kind of popularity and therefore profitability?
Animation. The one thing that we certainly have seen, you know, YouTube being a global brand, global platform, is you know, well more than half of our streams are international. And so then you start to, I start to question some of the strategies that I think are traditional media strategies being applied to the internet about windowing. So when you're windowing and you're segmenting U.S. versus international, you're leaving a lot of views and opportunity on the table. Let's go back to animation for a second. You know, if you are a company that can start to dub in other languages but still have the same brand across the world, you have a real opportunity to make a hit. And it's a lot easier to do that on animation than it is on something that's live.
But I think it's also niche programming. You know, with the internet, you can look to your horror sites or different niches. You know, and branded entertainment across the networks is you got to watch 3 generations across families to be successful on the broadcast networks now. You know, they don't want to hear, unless I can watch 3 generations across and everyone get into it, it's not making money, you know, from a monetization sense. Versus on the internet, where I can say, okay, I'm going to go directly to this audience, whether it's surfers, whether it's this, whatever it is, and I think that you're going to find programming that's really developed to satisfy that person. It's not just your broad entertainment anymore. It's what cable channels were to broadcast. It was, you know, let's segregate it. I got the Discovery Channel. I have those channels. Online, that needs to happen too. We have aggregators. They're just slapping it all together, you know. But I think what you're going to find is that it's going to get segregated down.
Right.
You know, and Yahoo used to say, okay, I have a cooking focus. But cooking is different for a married family versus a bachelor versus this. And I think that's where we'll start to see some interesting content play for unique groups.
With Reveille, what kind of content for the original web stuff has worked best?
You know, Chef to the Rescue has been successful, and that feels almost more like a user application, or at least it was born out of that idea, as opposed to, you know, what we would consider a show. And that was an idea base that it's evolved, but that was an idea that, you know, what's in your fridge right now tonight? What are the 5 recipes and put it in, and it'll be thrown into an algorithm, and it'll spit out something you can make in 10 minutes or less. Trying to come up with something that, like I said, not trying to create TV shows on the internet, going in at a smaller price. I mean, wherever you're pitching, wherever you're selling, wherever you're making TV shows for, there's it feels like you kind of better know the price point and the appetite for what the buyer is willing to support. And we're always cost conscious across the board and try to put all the money on screen. But I get turned off by people that come in and pitch me a $3 million to $5 million idea for the internet. I mean, I think when you can stream and download, and stream 24 and movies, and you see some of the most incredible content on your iPhone, on your iPod, or your internet, I think that's a really competitive, and we make the same kind of shows on TV, whether it's The Tudors or whether it's The Office, great looking, incredible high-end comedy or drama. It's very, very competitive to compete with that, and I have wanted to get in that space. I've wanted to cater our skills, our creative skills, to the internet, to a more price-conscious cost point, and something that I feel like a distributor can bite off on, an advertiser can support, and something that can grow and hopefully be a hit. I don't think you would have predicted that no one predicted that American Idol or Strictly Come Dancing, which was the original show, Dancing with Stars, or House, which struggled out of the bat, which are the most recent mega hits on broadcast, would have been hits. No one could have predicted that. No one here on the panel can predict what would be a web hit. I agree with you. Creating content for the internet allows you to really strategically locate an audience, a user, an end user, whether it be someone who likes hunting or whether it's someone who likes working out or someone who likes that. And that's a gift that Jordan will tell you, based on the research that he sees every day, is something that can't be denied as you're going out trying to cultivate content and great ideas for end users. That that being said, we all want the next huge hit, and that's what we're trying to do every day.
Well, my integrity insurance group would hate me for saying this, but we love R-rated content, because if you don't have it, they're going to go someplace else. We encourage people to get loose on unscripted. We've gotten our hands slapped there before. We do we're one of the few areas you can see actually R-rated trailers through MoviePhone. Like I said, if they're not, we just want to make it available because they'll go someplace else. And we like to bring a little bit of edge to our audience. Everything's if it's too risque, we just put up an advisory. If it's a red band trailer, for example, which is for a mature audience, there's an age gateway that you have to, so it's checked against the database. So there are checks and balances there so that we are not, exposing, people who shouldn't be watching this content to this content, but, we welcome it.